First of all, I did not invent this method. It comes from Ryan Kingsley. I hope I pronounced it right. He's great at human anatomy. Make sure to check him out. What makes this method so good is the simplicity. If you know the very basic modeling techniques, you probably can make this, right? It's just a bunch of stuff together. And after that, turning it into a human head is mind-bogglingly easy. You just have to do it step by step so it wouldn't get complicated. We're gonna go through all the steps together in this video. Like always, you can download the practice files and real-time videos on my Gumroad and Patreon page. It also supports the channel and helps me make more videos like this. Link in the description. Let's go. After you delete the default cube, go ahead and add another cube, cause we're not lame. Scale it up on Z-axis. Then press Ctrl R to add a loop cut. Drag the loop cut a bit higher. Once you applied it, make another one and drag it down this time. On the side, make another loop cut but vertical this time. Now select this face on the right, then one on the left. Right click and breach face, then get rid of the front face. Now the face on top is gonna be our forehead and the bottom one is the chin. Select the one on top and rotate it just a bit. For the bottom one, scale it down on the Z axis and bring it down. In the edge select mode, bring up the edges in the back. Select the one on top and bring it up. Then select the edge in the bottom of the forehead and do the same thing. I'm gonna drag out a new window from the left so we can see the process of shaping the form from a single angle. Ctrl R to add a loop cut in the front of the face. Then select these 4 edges and drag him to the back on the Y-axis. Shift A and add another cube. Press G and Y to move it on the Y-axis and place it in the back. Shape it like this in the edit mode. Add another cube, scale it down on the Z-axis, rotate it and place it here. Select the face in the back and scale it down on the Z-axis. Ctrl R to add a loop cut here and push it forward. I'm gonna drag the front a bit higher. Also select the edges of the chin and forehead, then scale it down on the X-axis. I added another loop cut to the back of the head so we can shape it better. Shift A and add a cylinder. Scale the whole thing down, then scale it up on the Z-axis so it reaches the forehead and also reaches the chin in the bottom. Rotate it just a bit. We want it to have a curved shape, so Ctrl R to add a loop cut, then push the cut to the front. Also another one for the bottom part. The chin is way too big, so I scale it down. Add a cylinder or a cube for the neck. Scale it up on the Z-axis, place it in the bottom and rotate it. I also added a simple shape for the shoulders, nothing special. Shift A and add a cube for the ear. In the modifier properties, add a mirror modifier so we can have it on both sides. Scale it down and place it on the spot. Add a loop cut and try to get it close to the shape of an ear. Don't forget to rotate it just a bit. Now we got the basic shape done. I'm gonna go ahead and refine the shape even more to get it close to what I want. After you think it's close enough, select all the meshes. Ctrl J to join them all together. Make sure all the meshes have an edge in the middle. For example, I added one loop cut in the middle of the neck. Now press 1 to go to vertex select mode. In the wireframe mode, select everything in one side. Press X and vertices to delete them. Then go ahead and add a mirror modifier. Enable clipping and select the edges in the middle and stick them together with the other side. I did this to ensure everything's the same on both sides. I keep fixing the issues, like the head is still not as round as I want. Now it's time to smooth the whole thing out, because we don't want the edges to be sharp. But if we add subdivision modifier right now, you see it gets too round and mushy. To fix that, we're gonna go back in the edit mode by pressing Ctrl R, add a loop cut close to the edges of each mesh. This ensures the subdivision don't smooth the whole thing out, and only just a bit on the edges. You can also use bevel, but I think this one works better. Now after subdivision, it should look like this. If you're happy with the results, hover your mouse on the modifiers and press Ctrl A to apply the modifier. Do that for both modifiers. After that, we have to remesh it so all the components turn into one mesh so we can sculpt on it. You can remesh it from Object Data Properties menu or pressing Ctrl R, but I'm gonna add the remesh modifier since it's easier to control in real time. Lower the voxel size to something like this. A smaller number meaning heavier mesh, and since we're gonna work on the base mesh for now, we don't want too much detail, so keep it at a reasonable number. You can apply it when you think it's good. Now it's ready to be sculpted. First step is to go to Sculpting tab and smooth out the sharp edges. Using draw or clay strip brush, put some in the crease between the cheeks and mouth area. Then holding shift, try to smooth it out. Do that for the other areas, especially the head where it has too many ups and downs. Make sure you choose a bigger size to smooth it faster, but don't smooth it too much that it loses its main shape. Choose clay strip brush, decrease the strength. While the X mirror is on, hold Ctrl and start empty out the eye socket. We got enough depth on the right side, so make sure you take care of the inner part. The nose shape is still too too big. So I pick up the move brush with the big size and kinda squish it inside. Using clay strip brush again, curve a hole in the nose. This helps us understand where the skeleton ends and where we need to add the actual nose. Using crease brush and holding control, I pronounce the outer edges. You notice the brush is stretched. It won't let us sculpt properly. To fix that, go back to the object mode, select the object, press Ctrl A and apply all transforms. And now it's fixed. You can remesh it again if you think it needs more faces in some parts. Pick up the clay strip brush again and start carving the eye socket even more. Then using the crease brush, you can clean out the edges and get the shape ready for the next part. Now we got the base shape for the nose. Start putting clay on it to fill the hole. Just try to bulge it out from every angle. Then go to side view, pick up grab brush and drag out the nose. After you got the shape of the nose, go ahead and remesh it to add more topology to the mesh. Then start smoothing out the bumps and pronounce the shapes using crease brush again. Next step is to take care of the mouth area. Pick up the clay strip brush and with the big brush, start filling up the mouth, connecting the jaw with the mouth. Then smooth it out by holding shift. Pick up the crease brush, make a line in the middle, bulge out the upper and lower lips using clay strip brush. You see the topology is really stretched, so I remesh it again. Then using crease brush, I pronounce the lips even more. Then shape it using grab brush. I have a tutorial about lips. Check that out if you're interested. By now, it should look like a Chad Squidward, which is weird. So I inflate the lips using inflate brush, then improve the shape using grab brush. For the ears, it's kinda tricky. I recommend you have few reference images from different angles. I think it's one of the hardest parts of the head, since it has so much levels of depth and ups and downs. I try to get the basic shape right using clay strip brush. I use the same brush for the chin, but it's up to you if you want it to be masculine or more feminine. For the neck, first make up your mind about the build of your character. If it's huge and muscular with a big neck, make sure to buff up the neck first and then go to details. Same thing for the muscles. The flow of these muscles are basically the same for everyone, but if you're sculpting a Giga Chad, these are more noticeable on it than an obese dude, so make sure you have a good reference for this one too. I'm mostly using clay strip brush and smooth it out after. I work more on the ears since it needs more time. Something to keep in mind is that ears have some kind of flow, I might say. We got the hole there, we got this part that is curved and made the main shape of the ear. This part is really thin, so if you make it thick, it loses that realistic look. Also we got another level, which most of the time is higher than the rest of the ear, so you need to grab it out of the ear. Moving on, pick up clay strip brush and holding control, sculpt these lines like this. This helps working on the eyebrows and forehead easier. Back to the nose, we have this flat area in the bottom, which is perfect to carve in a hole. Get in there and stick your... Just sculpt the nostrils, Then using crease brush, make a line like this. Then slowly smooth it out. Back to eyebrows, smooth out those lines and start sculpting the eyebrows using clay strip brush. For the eyes, using the same brush, start doing a circular motion until you have something like this. We're gonna use this for the eyelid. Pick up the crease brush and start shaping the eye. Then with clay strip brush, empty out the center. I added a multi-res just for now, to add a bit of details to the eyelids. Then using flatten brush, clean out the edges of the eyelid. We really don't need to remesh it again since we got most of the details. Now shift A and add a sphere. Go to edit mode, select it and move it to the eye socket. Then add a mirror modifier, so we have it on the other side too. Using inflate brush, inflate the part under the eyebrows. This part is not the same for everybody. If you're doing an Asian character, it might look completely different. Or if you're doing a really old character, this part might be loose and even cover the upper eyelid. Now it's finally the time we add the flesh, so he wouldn't look like cheekless Henry Cavill. Pick up the clay strip brush and slowly add the flesh over the sunken areas. This is the part where you decide you want your characters to have beefy cheeks or a malnourished one. Also really important is to don't forget the caruncle. I've seen many people forget we have that, or make it so small that you can't even see it, so don't be shy. The nose still needs a bit more work, just under the nostrils. If you touch your nose, you see it has a slight bump just under the nostrils that you don't want to miss. Using crease brush, I added a line from the side of the nose around the mouth, which is different for people, so you do it based on your reference. I noticed the eyes are too deep, so in the side view, I drag them out just a bit. Also, the eyelids are a bit ugly from the side view, so I fix it up using grab brush. Also work more on the shape of the eyes. I made a fast iris to see how it looks in the eye socket. Also have an ultimate guide on creating realistic eyes if you're interested, link in the top right corner. And we're almost done, but one thing left, and that's retopology. We need to retopologize it so we can clean up the mesh. I have 2 separate tutorials about retopology. Really recommend you check it out. After we retopologized it and projected it to our old model, it's time to clean up the messes. Now you see how silky smooth it looks. And also we can add a lot more details to the areas like lacrimal caruncle and the edges of the eyelid. I mostly work on the eyes, pronounce the eyelid more using inflate brush, and also bulge out the lips a bit more to my liking, then make the eyebrows a bit more visible. And it is done. If you think it was helpful, like and sub because we have a lot of stuff coming up for the future. And also check out my Gumroad and Patreon page to download the 3D files and real-time videos. And I'll see you on the next one. Peace!